Hey, we're back, guys. We are back for episode number 2 of the pod. Well, I launched that a couple weeks ago. It took me. So that was the first. I haven't edited video or audio or anything in such a long time. So that was a lot because I was trying out different softwares and different things and learning them to try them out. So it was kind of intense. But I still don't know really how to use them or the best way to use them or the best editing tips and tricks, so to speak. I know more than I did the last time, and that's all that matters. I know more than I did yesterday, which is cool. I love it. That's actually, I think, the thing that keeps me up at night is knowing that I'm not doing the things that, let me think about this. The thing that keeps me up at night is knowing that I'm neglecting to be the best version of myself. And so if I can say that I know more or I learned something, I improved myself from yesterday, I'm ecstatic about that. I think that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm striving to achieve. So that's cool. Which is, I mentioned in the first pod, that's the point. That's what I'm doing with this podcast. Podcast, this funny thing. That's my intention. It's documentation. It's a way to learn through experience, and you don't know what you don't know, right? Oh goodness. I need to find a better camera setup. I'm using my iPhone, which is actually working quite well. Like, the iPhone is doing really well, so that's cool. And it's a 15. It's 15 regular, not pro rating. So there's the spirit guide called Bashar. He pops up on my TikTok a lot, this Bashar guy. One of the things he talks about is our higher mind. And I'm going to mix people's thoughts together probably here, but the higher mind is you and God, all of that wrapped together. The higher mind is like your intuition or your gut, basically. And that is something, someone, an energy that just knows more about your life and its trajectory and what's best for you, that isn't allowed to interfere completely. It has to allow you to play by the rules of Earth or this manifestation. So because it has to allow you to play by the rules and it can't be magical, right? It can't break that illusion. It speaks to you in intuition. I just had a gut feeling, or I just knew that was the right decision. And that's only for you. Nobody else will ever see that. So I created a list called My Highest Excitement. It's really the Bashar, it's Bashar's theory, right? Or ideas or whatever you want to call it. And it's follow your intuition because it knows more than you do. From the micro to the macro. It can be as simple as, where do I want to get my coffee today? And then you just pick the one that is the most exciting or is the thing that you want to do more than the other thing. And then by doing that, you set yourself up to be like the butterfly effect. It's like, by making those little micro decisions and just checking with yourself, being aware for just a second to say, which one do I actually want to do? You pick the one that you actually want to do. Maybe just a tiny bit more, maybe you don't even really know why you're picking the other thing, but it's just, okay, I'm going to do that. Like a little bit more excited about that thing. Go and do that. And then from that branch, there's another question, there's another decision. And so like on the decision tree. And so if you act in that way, eventually you start making these huge decisions or having these opportunities to make these huge decisions that affect your life. Just being aware in those moments has led you to a totally different and much improved place than had you just ignored it and then just randomly made decisions, let other people persuade you or that sort of thing. So it's really an exercise in becoming you and who you are. So that's really cool. That's kind of what I believe. I've mixed a few different people together. The basis of that was Bashar, and I see him on TikTok all the time, and he's so good. He's been doing it for a long time. He's been talking to groups and stuff. So, he, depending on your spiritual position, he watches videos. It's interesting, but I think what's the most important about him is the message. The message, and he says this too, the message is more important than the delivery. who cares how you get the information that you have or that you're getting. I think it was Jim Rohn that talked about that. He's like, if your best friend puts poison in your coffee, doesn't it still kill you? You know, it's the information that's important, not the system of delivery. So that's a cool one. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me and my beliefs. So I published my first podcast. It took me forever to edit. I edited some clips out, which I think those are cool. I like the clip thing, doing the clips, because that's kind of, to be honest, that's how I watch podcasts, is like through the clips. I think that's cool. I found myself like kind of overthinking everything, like for whatever reason. Like I just, in editing, like I was only going to publish the first episode once, so I wanted it to be cool. I mean, obviously I know that that's a ridiculous thing, seeing there's nobody on this channel, but for me, I just like, I have this perfectionism that even though I know nobody's watching it, I still want it to be good. I don't know. But I mean, I think we'll all have that, or versions of that. But so I really wanted to kind of add some structure, because I do want to, keep making these podcasts. Podcasts are long, so I'm not sure which. I'm calling them podcasts. I do want to keep making these because I really like the like the expression. I like having an outlet to just think out loud. And this is a great way to do that. And if other people can find some pieces of it interesting or helpful, then that's incredible. That's awesome. So, but what I wanted to do this week was add some structure here, what I'll say, instead of just turning on the camera and it being random. But I did not do that. So here we are, camera on, me being random. That is what we get today. But for me, it was more about like turning on the camera and making the second video so I can keep moving, like it was progress. Because otherwise I would get stuck in the loop of like, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say on the pod? Episode number 2, that's very important. It's going to go viral. No, I actually appreciate the fact that it's not viral. That's actually why I enjoy it, because I know that it exists in the world of the internet, but like it's obscure. So it's just for me, but it's like, I like that it's publicly available, but I also like not viral, I guess. That's a thought that I'm just formulating right now. Sorry for that. Hey, yes, me randomly talking. I was leading to my highest excitement, like, and the reason I was telling that story and kind of my philosophy on, or my beliefs on that, is because there's a dog barking downstairs there. Distracting. I have a tendency to go off track, ADHD style. So a dog barking is like resetting my whole trains of thought. That's an interesting thing, because there's these video interviews. This is actually a strategy for interviewing not criminal, but like people, like police officers and detectives. When they interview suspects, there's this strategy where they like make a face and like, just like in the middle of the suspect telling their story or talking, if the detective thinks or suspects that he's like lying or they're lying, the distraction, like this dog barking downstairs that's driving me crazy and is distracting my brain like completely, that happens to the suspect when they're doing the interview. And there's videos of this online, which are really cool. The distraction makes them forget their story, like if they were lying. So the truth is the truth, right? So you're not gonna forget the truth because it is, but you might forget the lie if you were like coming up with the lie kind of as you were talking about it. And so they do that sometimes, and then it's funny because you'll see the suspect in the middle of their story, and they're just like, they like stop and they don't understand what happened, but then their mind is completely derailed from their train of thought. So like, then they kind of have to piece back together what they were saying, and a lot of times they stumble over their story and reveal a lie. So that's kind of interesting. So that's what's happening with that dog downstairs. Absolutely driving me, derailing my train of thought. That's what I thought, like maybe having a little bit of structure to the podcast would help with the randomness. It depends on like, so I put these on, I put that first episode on Spotify, and then I listened to it in the car just to kind of see how it would sound and like, is it good or not, and I like podcasts. I find that like if I'm in the car and I pull up Spotify, I generally am with somebody else and they're not going to want to listen to a podcast. So I just play music instead. And I don't have a consistent schedule for anything in my life. So like I don't go to work at the same time every day, and I don't have like a 45-minute commute. It's like consistent to listen to a podcast. I have to be kind of intentional if I want to listen to a podcast. And then if I'm at home, like, or here, I'm not at home right now, but like if I'm here and my computer's kind of like in the main space. So the podcast, if I turn that on, then, not everybody wants to participate in that either. So headphones, I've had headphones, but they weren't my favorite things ever for some reason. I like the listening to music and the music experience and over the ear headphones is, magical. Like if you've never had that experience, you better do it because it's incredible. The Apple over the ear headphones, those scare me because of the noise canceling. Like that's a little bit creepy because you plop them over your ears and then it uses active noise, like deadening, completely isolates any outside noise. It's like one of those quiet chambers in a sense. Like it's so quiet. I want to get one of those. I need to get. I have like a couple microphones. I don't know the complete studio sound. Like is kind of a little bit too much to me because I like ran the audio of the first podcast through Adobe. It isolates the voice really well, but it tends to sound weird it sounds weird to me. Some people definitely have more luck than others. Hang on, let me finish my thought with this. So the Adobe audio tool with the studio style audio with the vocal isolation, I just felt like there were no outside sound. Like it was just like dry sound. I didn't like it as much. I liked a little bit of like outside sound or a little bit of like gray noise or something I don't know. I don't like it just to be completely dead. Like I think I think a little bit of like gray noise or brown noise or whatever it's called. And just kind of humming in the background. Because I like to pause. I edit a lot of the pauses out because they're a little bit outrageous. I like to pause mid-sentence and think about what I'm saying. The other motivation I think for this is like it's exercising my brain for completing thoughts and formulating thoughts. Because most people aren't exactly interested in everything that I'm saying, and obviously nobody watching the podcast is going to be interested in everything that I'm saying. For me, it allows me to because I don't know who's watching this when, not that there's a lot of you, but I don't know who's watching it when, so I'm more intentional about finishing my thought and rounding out the idea because it could be somebody in the future. Somebody in the future is watching and they might want to know what the hell I was talking about. So I got to finish this thought. Where when I'm talking to people in the real world, I can tell that they disengage and when I'm telling a story or something or talking about an idea. And so when they disengage, I just stop talking. It's not malicious. It's just they're not interested, whatever, I don't really hang out with people. I don't really talk to people or hang out with people that I have a very close group of people. It's two. Yeah, I haven't got all the way back to my original point, which was I told that story because of the highest excitement. Yeah, so I told that story because of the highest excitement, I brought that up in the beginning, so I'm going to get back to that point for my sake. I have this highest excitement list, so I was going to tell you what was on it. So I have been wanting, I've been fascinated with building a house. I've been wanting to do it, but it's this one thing that I'm deathly afraid of. I've been so scared to I know I can start the project and I know I can do a lot of the things in the project to build a house. And I've remodeled houses and flipped houses and all that stuff. And all the individual elements I know how to do. So I'm not worried like if I run out of money to pay contractors that I could just knock it out, like go and use a credit card and go to Lowe's kind of thing. I still am like, for whatever reason, I'm just so afraid of it. Contractors and everything are so expensive now in comparison to like pre-COVID. Like that industry is like, it's like twice as expensive to build a house now than it was like when I originally wanted to build a house, which was 2016. So I bought my first house. I was 18 or 19, and I got a government loan through rural housing, USDA, rural housing. And then that was such a cool program. That was like in 2009. And that was during like everything that was like during the foreclosure crisis, that recession, the 2008 collapse, financial collapse. And so it was 2009, we bought the house. I think we closed like 5 days or 10 days before my daughter Sienna was born, which was insane. We had the baby born in the hospital, and then I went home to finish painting the bedroom because we had just closed on the house and Sienna was born. She was a month early, unexpected, completely unexpected. We thought we had all this time to like paint the house and get ready. We did not. He was ready. So I bought the house with the USDA, 0 down. There's closing costs associated with it. The programs are all different now. They're very different, but like the USDA at the time had some closing costs, but you could get the closing costs from the seller. So you would get a seller contribution. And the seller was a bank. It was a foreclosure of the bank. And so the seller could pay some of your closing costs, which is normal. We see that a lot, especially with FHA deals and stuff. We literally, I think it cost us like $1,500, which was like basically like a security deposit. And we were able to buy our first house. Now, it wasn't as nice as like a move-in ready house would have been. It was definitely a foreclosure, but like it was livable. So we moved in, and then we just went to work right away. And then I think I worked on the house literally for 5 years. And then it was basically done. And then we decided to sell it in 2016. And then it was profitable, I think. I guess I never really tracked the expenses all that well because it was just our house. I wasn't really thinking about it like that, I don't think. So I never really knew exactly what the numbers were. But like I think we paid $74,000 for it. Now, keep in mind, I'm in like central Michigan, Midwest. So our home prices here, our average home price here right now is about half of the United States median price. So 70,000 isn't as good as what it sounds like. We paid 70,000, 74,000, I think. We live there, and then we sold it for $135,000. So what is that, like $70,000? 61,000. I probably put, not counting my labor, I probably did put 30 grand in it. So, it was essentially a free house to live in, which is kind of a cool aspect of like homeownership when you consider in this like fix and flip idea. Now, obviously, if I paid myself for the labor, refinish, all the stuff that we did, did the bathrooms and refinished the basement and the kitchen and all that stuff. If I paid myself for the labor, then it obviously wouldn't have been a free house, and I honestly don't recommend it. It's one of my probably my biggest regret in life when we sold that house in 2016 was not building a house because, and when I say build, we were under contract with a builder to build a house. Like it wasn't me swinging a hammer. It was just buying a house. I'm buying a new construction house is probably a better way to put it. And then I get to pick the carpet color. But that's probably one of my biggest regrets. It worked out. Like it's fine. Like the house that we have is nice, I guess. But like it has different attributes that we wouldn't have had at the other house. In-ground swimming pool and stuff. And that was part of the reason that we bought it. And like a completed neighborhood and whatever. But the regret to me is the first house was kind of cool and interesting just from my personality. Like I enjoyed working on the house, at least in my memory. I think I did. It made me feel accomplished, I guess, when we sold it. But that's such valuable time with your kids, and it wasn't necessary anymore. Like I had the money and I didn't need to, like, I should have just taken a break for a few years, bought the new construction, spent extra time with my kids. Like I should not have moved my family into another, essentially what was a live-in flip, that it was a house that hadn't been updated since 1975. Old carpet, I mean, old, wallpaper, I mean, the whole thing, like flooring everywhere that had to be replaced, new kitchens, new bathrooms. Like, it was hindsight, it was just complete wrong decision. But so that's probably my biggest regret. Since then, since 2016, I've just really, really, really wanted to build a house. So I like the new construction idea for a lot of reasons. So the new construction is cool because you get to it's creation again. Like, it's creativity, but it's also like literally it's creativity, but it's also creation of something. Like, it makes sense to me that when you create something, you should be compensated for that. So from like an investment perspective, it makes sense that if you take materials, sticks and drywall and glue and kitchen cabinets, and you put them all together, then it makes sense that you could take that and then sell that for more than what you paid for the materials, and pay yourself for the time and labor. Just from like a mental perspective, like, I believe in it, especially like if I'm like interested in doing some of the work, which at this point in my life, I'm interested in doing that and like working on a house. I mean, flip houses are fine, but the thing about a flip house is, like, if you go in and gut the thing and you run into electrical issues and you go in, so you have to not only pay to gut the house, but then you have to pay to put it all back together, and you might as well just start from new. I mean, obviously, the foundation costs are extremely high, but I think what I'm gonna try to figure out is, I think there's ways to kind of combat those big expenses. And, like, you don't necessarily need a huge basement on some of these houses. Most people don't use their basement, and it's just wasted space or storage. So, can you put a storage shed in and build a house on a slab, to save costs and really not hurt anybody? Like, it's not hurting anybody to do that. So I'm exploring those kind of thoughts, but I really want to do it. So that's like number 1 or 2 on my highest excitement list. We're still talking about my highest excitement list. Remember, I told you this is more of a journal than anything. So here's what I find myself. I find myself wanting to have done a thing, not do a thing. So I find myself enjoying the memory and like the lessons learned along the way. But when I'm actually in the moment, it's tragic for me. Like, I'm not interested, or I am distracted, or like, this dog has me so kerfluffled. That's a fun word. He's kind of shut up, but I think it's like, maybe it's when I'm talking, like me talking to him, you can like hear it vibrate through the floor or something. Cause like, it's been going for like 35 minutes, but so yeah, the building house thing, like, I'm excited about that. Banks are like the enemy of the world. Like, they make it seem like they're there to extend credit, but they really make it so difficult, especially for business owners that are like self-employed. Like, if you have W-2 income, you can go to the bank and kind of just get money. If you're self-employed, it's like so immensely difficult to secure financing. I mean, SBA will give you some money, but it's like, it's so complicated even with them. And then everything that you own, they want to like put a lien on. Like, they want you to, like, the equity in your house and stuff, which is fine if you're real serious about the business loan that you're getting. Yeah, so highest excitement. I'm really enjoying, like, even though it's kind of, I don't know, it's not wildly significant, but like, I'm really enjoying just knowing that I am recording this podcast, like, just knowing that I recorded the first one, because it's something that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and for some reason I've been blocked from doing it. I don't know why I've been blocked from doing it, but like just knowing that I created it and like published it and did it, it's kind of like a completion for me. I'm getting a lot of dopamine reward from having done that. So that's cool. Like that's really exciting for me. Even though it's just nothing, like in a sense, like to me it's everything. Like, to anyone else it's meaningless. I'm happy about that. Like brings me joy to have done it, to have created it, and to have, like I say, exercised the thought, the mind, and like the thinking and everything. So that's cool. And then this house, and then some other things like there's a couple other things that I'm processing. Like there's this like big, it was an old shop, like mechanic shop. It's in my town, and when I was in Atlanta last week, we went to the like city market, the Ponce City Market. And that's so cool. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna recreate that, but also like in my area, there's like in one of the suburbs of my town, there's like these, I think they're popping up kind of more and more, and it's really cool. They're like new ultra mini malls, and they're not for not box store. They're not for stores. They're like micro stores. They're like little tiny clothing outlets, and they're all like homegrown, like actually like the owner sits there and like rings people out on their phone. Like, and that's super cool. Like, so there's one of those kind of in the suburb of our town where they take like this big building and then they build out these little units, kind of to whatever the size of the person is that they want. Like there's a bookstore and there's like an a- ASCII. How the hell do you say that? I always forget. Bowl place, like I call it like it's like tastes like the earth in ice cream form. At least the one that I had. I'm thinking I want to recreate one of those. And I love working with people. Like I'm rediscovering creativity because I've been so fooled by this idea that I was like this logical person. And maybe I was. It was all about like numbers and math. That was like the way to be happy, or that was what who I was. Like I was more analytical and like mathematic in that sense. And so now I'm like, and because of that, I always rejected or my creative thoughts. Like, so because I don't know, I was like rejecting a part of myself, or I have been for such a long time. I wasn't letting me be authentically me. I wasn't allowing myself to be expressive in the ways because I'm like, oh, well, that's stupid. Or yes, okay, so this like, I don't know, maybe it's like it's like the millennial hustler mentality. It's different from the Gen Z hustler mentality, but it's like, oh, well, that's a waste of time because it's not going to produce any money or any income. It's like for such a long period of time in my life, like that's all it was about. Like it was about like if it didn't produce income or like work in that direction, then it wasn't worth participating in or pursuing or thinking about. And now I'm rejecting that completely. And I used to like, I think I remember, I don't know if I was like a hater on the arts or what, but like I just rejected it completely. My phone died. One of the downsides of using your phone to record this is that my phone died. So I thought I lost like a whole 10-minute video, invaluable video. But I would have actually been sad, or was sad, because I did experience the loss because it wasn't in my camera roll when I went in there, but then it popped up. So that's cool. I went back through and you can hear that dog barking like intensely in the video. I'm going to have to scrub the audio pretty good. And I can also hear the obnoxious sound of iMessages coming in. Hopefully that is eliminated as well in the audio. Yeah, so the creativity, I'm coming back to that. Maybe there's some planetary alignment or something that's like bringing that back to me, or I don't know if it's just me or not, but it just feels good not be rejecting pieces of me anymore. Like I'm participating or allowing myself to be authentically me, regardless of these other ideas that I've been living by. Part of that was kind of getting kicked in my teeth because it's like, well, I'm just consistently getting kicked in the teeth by life, and I've been playing by these rules that were supposed to work, and they're not working. So I'm just going to be me, see how that works out. And I'm enjoying it a lot more than the other option, the other way. So if I share any advice, it's that, I guess, right? If I share any advice, it's be you. I was talking about this idea. I'm pretty sure it didn't get deleted, but I was talking about this idea of I like to have done things. Like it's fun to do things, or like, I had like like I went on a classic car thing where I was like obsessed with classic cars, and then I bought like a Lincoln Town car, like the 1984 Lincoln Town car, and then I bought a 1966 Mustang, and I was gonna buy some other cars, and then I'm like, I was over it, and so then it's fun to like look back and remember that period of time, but it's not like anything that I want to do again. Like, I mean, obviously, if I had a pole barn or something, somewhere to put them and keep them, like I might buy some classic cars again, but it's not something I'm yearning for anymore. Like, I did it and I feel like I feel satisfied with like having done that. I'm glad that it happened. It's exciting. I'm glad that I have the memories of doing it, and it was like enriching, I guess, like participating in it. I don't like, I don't long for it, to go back. I don't know if it's just me or if that's like a psychological thing that happens with a lot of people, or ADHDers or what, but I really just like doing things and having done them, like just trying new things. Like I just want to go be Mike Rowe and work a bunch of different jobs, like work a different job every day, just because it's just interesting to me to like see it and do it. It's not something that I want to do every day. There's really nothing that I want to do every day. I find it really hard to maintain interest in a thing or doing something consistently. If I do something every day for a year, I never want to do that thing again. I'm speaking more from work or job or from productivity perspective. I enjoy playing. I play guitar, and mostly guitar and a little bit of piano, not really. But I guess I could do that every day, but it's very quickly. I'll pick up the guitar and play a song, and then I'll put it back down, and then I'm no longer interested in it for the day. But I like doing it. I have this very short attention span, I guess. I can be consistent if I'm like motivated by the goal, the means to the end. If I'm working towards a result, I can put everything into that. I know at the end, it's going to be exactly what I want. I'm going to have what I want, or I'm going to complete the thing that I'm setting out to do. And I think that's also why other people have talked about this, but I think that's why business is so hard sometimes, for starting a business or taking the jump to do something, is because you don't ever really know if you're going to get there or not. There's no guarantee. You take a job and they're like, okay, here's your guarantee. You're going to make this amount of money every 2 weeks, and that's your guarantee. But then you have to sit here and stare at this computer screen every day forever. And there's a lot of businesses I've done a lot of things that failed. I kind of embrace failing. My kids are at sensitive ages right now, and like obviously I don't want to go bankrupt right now because I don't want the kids to experience the rest of their teenage years bankrupt. But beyond that, like when if you're not taking care of anybody, then the risks are less. I love living like a poor person. That's fun for me. As long as it's a means to ends. If it's like a permanent thing, then obviously no, I'm going to be depressed and sad about that. Which I have been there, and I have been depressed and sad about that. Yeah. So those are kind of the things that I'm working on. But I'm just really excited. So those are I'm just really excited. I'm honestly really excited for having created the first episode and then this episode. I think that's really my only goal, is like just have created it, which is paralleling the other things. Like I just appreciate like having done a thing, and that's enough for me. Like that's having done the thing is enough. Like I'm satisfied with that. And it's actually just really, I just really love having an outlet and talk. It's cool. So I'm really enjoying it. It's episode 2, but like I've explained, my consistency with things is lacking. My consistency with like of interest, So as long as I'm interested in it and I feel good about it, and I'm, then I'll keep making more. If other people can find value in the words or inspiration or perspective in my story, that's awesome. That's actually so cool. Like, I think my first pod got 12 views. So I don't know if some of those are mine or that's actually 12 people that saw it. But if 12 people saw it, I'm freaking blown away. That'd be crazy. Yeah. So I think that's kind of it. I'll leave you guys with the rest of your week here. If you are here, if you're the one person, welcome. I've really enjoyed you being here. When I watched, I have been watching the analytics and stuff on the shorts and stuff. And it's super cool to see like some of the shorts, like, I mean, 400 or 500 views on a short. I feel like that's kind of a lot, but that's cool. Like I say, if somebody can take something away from my story or my words, then that's incredible. I think I've adequately explained kind of what my intention is and how I feel about it, and what it means to me. That's awesome if you're here to participate with me. Well, I don't know when I'll make the next video. I'm not necessarily going to put schedule on it because then it's just another thing to fail or miss, but I definitely enjoy it, and I feel like I'll definitely keep making, at least make a couple more episodes and then see what things are like and how I'm feeling. But if there's any constructive criticism or feedback, if you are on here, definitely am welcome to that. I'm interested in continuing it, and I'm interested in making it better or more relevant or more entertaining. Definitely in the comments or direct message or whatever. But I'm so glad you're here. And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your week or 2 weeks or whatever it might be before I post another video. All right, we'll see you later.